Everybody to the June 17th, 2020 meeting of the Pinelands Regional School District. We will start the meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic
and to
for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. This is to advise those present at this meeting of the Board of Education of the Pinelands Regional School District in the County of Ocean that adequate notice of this meeting was provided in accordance with the Open Public Meeting Act. The notice has been posted in the Board of Education office, junior high school, and high school buildings. The notice was also mailed to the press of Atlantic City and filed with the municipal clerks of Bass River, Eagleswood, Little Egg Harbor, and the Borough of Tuckerton. Roll call, please.
Okay, Mr. Williams will be marked absent. Ms. Paklakua.
Yes, here.
Ms. Chambers. I thought I saw you. Okay, you're on mute. I see you.
Here.
Thank you, Ms. Chambers. Ms. Palladino will be marked absent. Mr. Rossetti.
Here.
Thank you. Ms. Harper.
Here.
Mr. Dalio, I'm going to resend him a link again. He'll jump on shortly. Ms. Hannadel.
Yes.
And Mrs. McVeigh.
Yes.
We are in regular session at 6:08 p.m.
Thank you, Nick. We've already had executive session at 5:30, so moving on to item number 5, approval of the agenda. A motion, please.
Motion.
Motion?
Second.
Second.
Are there any questions? All in favor of approving the agenda? Say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Yeah.
I wasn't
Motion.
present for executive.
I'm sorry, what was that, Ms. Harper?
I wasn't present for the executive, so I can't approve that.
We're on the agenda, not the minutes just yet.
Yep.
We're just approving the agenda.
All right, number 5, approval of the agenda. That motion carried.
All right, moving on to the approval of the minutes for both the open session and closed session for the May 20th, 2020 meeting. Can I have a motion, please?
Motion?
Motion. Second.
Got it, thank you. Any questions? Ms. Paklakua.
Yes.
Ms. Chambers.
Yes.
Mr. Rossetti.
Yes.
Ms. Harper.
Yes, for the open session.
Yep, mark your extension for executive session. Thank you. Mr. Dalio.
Yes.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Hannadel
Yes.
and Mrs. McVeigh.
Yes.
That motion carries.
Moving on to item number 7, report of the superintendent. I give you Dr. McCooley, please.
Thank you. I do have a couple of things to review tonight. I'm going to first start with Mrs. Lichtenwalder, if she's prepared. I know she had done this in Little Egg, just to give a very brief update on ESY.
Sure, no problem. Just excuse the children are eating right next to me, so if they make noise, I apologize. So thank you, Dr. McCooley. On Friday, I think you guys were all made aware that our governor did put out a recommendation for us to make attempts to open our buildings for our extended school year. Friday evening, I spent a lot of time with Scott Beaton and Marissa Elwood from Little Egg Harbor trying to figure out plans A, B, and C, and D. There was very, very limited guidance given from our state. So, and the guidelines that they did give us really pose a lot of issues and concerns in terms of bringing our students and our staff back in the building safely, and also following our students' IEPs. So, one of the most challenging regulations is bringing in one staff member to remain with our students, up to 10 students at a time, which seems reasonable, but it has to be the same staff member that stays with them for the entire session. You can't have staff members in and out. And for our students that are, having IEPs, a lot of them have paraprofessional ratios. Some of our students have toileting assistance they need. And also one of the biggest concerns from parents is the administration of, you can go wash your hands. the administration of our speech and language therapy, occupational therapy, and physical therapy. So if we can only have one adult with our students at a time, we're not going to be able to give those services and really follow what they need. That being said, we did send out a parent survey on Monday, and we also did meet on Monday with facilities, transportation, even our food services to try to go over if this would be feasible. We're okay, you can wash your hands. So really what's going to happen is we're still considering and reviewing all of the information from the parent survey and seeing if it is feasible. But we will be putting out a statement tomorrow. So I'd like for our parents to look out for that tomorrow, and we'll have all of the details and the plans at that time. Does anybody have any questions?
Thank you, Erin.
Just thank you for trying to accommodate our children, our students.
Okay, I have a couple more things. So along the lines of what Erin was saying, we are starting to prepare for September and whatever that looks like. So this July, our administrative team is going to be tasked with creating a plan that has many different openings for September. So we're going to have an A, B, C, and possibly a D. And depending on the status of the state and the nation at that time, we are going to utilize one of those plans based on the most appropriate measures. I will share those plans with the board and with the parents as soon as they're done, but it's going to be very comprehensive. We are getting information from the Department of Education daily. Things are changing daily, and we want to make sure that we're prepared for an opening, for a partial opening, and whatever the case may be. So we're ordering supplies right now, and we will be putting that plan together for the board and our parents to review. So I have a couple other things I'd like to do, and I want to share my screen. So just give me 1 minute. Okay, so we'll move this over and present. Okay. Sorry. There we go. Excuse me. I have my Zoom screen up and it's like hard to navigate through here. All right, here we go. So what you have in front of you is the current configuration on your right of the administrative team, as well as the configuration in 2018. I know last month there was some confusion by some of the board members in regards to Mr. Hickman retiring and Mr. Morgan going in his spot. And I believe the question was posed, I thought we weren't replacing. And I wanted to clearly exemplify our current administration as opposed to what we used to have. So in 2018, you had a full-time superintendent when I came on board, and now you have a shared superintendent, which is me, with Little Lake Harbor. In 18, you had a director of curriculum and instruction, a director of special education, a director of student services, and a full-time BA. These are all full-time positions. Currently, we have an assistant superintendent, which was the director of curriculum and instruction, that's Gina Fresca. We have a shared director of special education. We have a director of student services, and we have a shared business administrator. Supervisor athletics in 2018, supervisor of math and science, supervisor of ELA and social studies. Currently, we still have a supervisor of athletics and a shared supervisor of math and science with Little Lake Harbor. So 2 full-time positions are basically eliminated here. In 2018, you had 2 principals. You had 2 assistant principals in each of those buildings. And remember, at the time, we were housed in 1 building. So it was easy to have that configuration. Now we've just shifted this bottom line. We have a principal at the high school, 3 assistant principals. And now that the junior high is only 2 grade levels, we have a principal and an assistant principal. But I want you to see visually how we are down quite an amount of administrators. So we are doing more with less, and I believe that the administrative team is working very hard and doing a great job. So the next slide I'd like to share with you, I'm going to move this as well, are the shared services. I know that there's for some reason, there's been some negativity associated with the the term shared service, please keep in mind that if we didn't have these positions shared, you'd have to have an additional full-time administrator hired, including benefits. So that comes with quite a cost. So we have a superintendent is shared, business administrator, director of special education, administrative assistant was shared this year, that was Matt Rosenberg, supervisor of math and science, ESL, our BCBA, occupational therapy, physical therapy, supervisor of facilities and food services. So we do have quite amount of shared services to save both districts money or some of the other districts some money, and to provide continuity of services amongst the elementary districts and the junior high and high school. Are there any questions about the two slides that I just shared?
Melissa, where does Ms. Nass fit in? Is she one of the assistant principals in the high school?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm going to unshare. Are there any other questions about the two slides that were presented? Okay. The
Melissa,
last.
could you just share them and send them to us so that we have them as a reference point?
Of course, yes, I will absolutely do that. You know what, Karen, I have them as screenshots. It's a new program, so unless you have the program, you couldn't, but I will send you the screenshots.
Perfect, thanks.
And the last thing I have, I just want to thank the board for the new board procedures with the Q&A. It really gives the administrative team and I time to give you comprehensive answers. I commend you for reviewing the board agenda as thoroughly as you do. And I just wanted to say thank you. If for some reason the board meeting occurs and another question comes about, we will absolutely email you a comprehensive answer after the board meeting. So thank you for all your hard work on that. And I just wanted to close with that. And that's all I have for right now, Mrs. McVeigh.
Thank you. I'd also like to thank you for doing the review of the board agenda. That was very helpful. And I hope you continue to do that. Thank you.
Sure.
All right, presentations. Dr. McCooley, do you have something from the PTSO?
Yes, I do. Excuse me, I have lots of papers here. This is from our president, Michelle Molesky. She said, "Dear Pinelands Wildcat community, as we close out the school year, we wanted to take a moment to thank our parents, teachers, and volunteers for an amazing year. Even though it was a short year, we gave out 4 $250 scholarships to the following seniors: Charles Blight, Emily English, Anthony Faldudo, and Dana Scapati. Great job and best wishes to them in the entire class of 2020 as they move on to their future plans. Additionally, we were able to give $250 worth of gift cards to various junior high students for awards night. Congratulations, Wildcats. We are looking forward to working with our Pinelands community for the 2020-21 school year. We are so proud to be part of this wonderful community, and thank you for all your support. Lastly, we wish everyone a safe, healthy, and relaxing summer. Please see our website at prsdptso.org for future updates on school events. Thank you again, Michelle Molesky, President, Heather Contanio, Vice President, Nancy Bergeron, Secretary, and Tara Clemens, Treasurer."
Thank you. Moving on to item number 9, work session, board forum. Sorry. My dogs are going nuts. Board forum, does anybody have anything?
I would just like to thank Melissa Bell for the agenda video. It was very helpful. And it did remove some of the questions that I had initially on my email. So thank you. It was very helpful.
Great, thank you. All right, well, Betty Ann steps away. Is there any new business? I don't believe we have new business.
So sorry.
That's
the
okay.
Dogs hear, my dogs hear a voice and they go barking. I'm sorry.
That's right, Betty, and we are now at old business board goal achievement.
All right, Dr. McCooley, I'll let you chat about that a little bit and I'll tack on at the end.
Sure. So the board had 2 goals this year that they came up with during our retreat last summer. The first goal dealt with obtaining a more comprehensive understanding of our student population in regards to their social, emotional, and academic needs and strengths. I believe that the board did a great job with this. We gave multiple presentations throughout the school year, including our mid-year report that was also put in a folder for you, that the folder that had all of my accomplishments and the goals for the year. You have had a comprehensive understanding of this. We've had new health counselors that we had hired this year. School-based youth services did a great job with this. So I believe the board did a wonderful job with this. If you have any questions about that, you can refer back to that mid-year report that was very comprehensive and outlines everything that was done in guidance, in our schools, in school-based, and with our mental health expert. The second goal was regarding committing to a process of more effective communication and board governance. If you look through the indicators and the action plan, the board accomplished all of these. I believe the board did a great job with this. Communication has been wonderful regarding things we were just discussing, our Q&As, our budget calendars, and so forth. One of the things that I would suggest, and Betty Ann's gonna piggyback a little bit on this now, is perhaps carrying these goals onto the next school year, because we were cut short this year. So, Betty Ann, do you want to take it from here?
Certainly. It was my recommendation in speaking earlier with Dr. McCooley that we consider just carrying these goals forward, but there are some things that we need to do before we even decide that. Step one would be to complete the board self-evaluation. I know some of us have, and some of us still need to do that. It's an important tool to help us decide what direction we're moving in. One of the important questions on the self-evaluation and what are the three most challenging issues next year the district will be facing. I'm sure we all know what number one is, but it's a useful tool to help us move the district forward, to set goals and be positive forward looking. So if we can get that self-evaluation done, we'd like to sometime probably late July be able to meet, have some training, meet with school boards and discuss further our goals for 2021. Anybody have any questions on that?
I know you had, I think there was one update you gave us that you said you had some ideas that you and Kim were maybe throwing around. Was there something else that you guys thought of as far as what we could do, to reach our board goal?
I believe what the ideas that we were throwing around was the fact to try to get together late July. I guess we would call it a retreat if the world will allow us to be able to get together. If not, it can certainly be virtually. But to use the board self-evaluation as a tool to help us be more cohesive, a little bit better communication, just a board that works with the VA and the superintendent as a partner, those types of things. So, if we can get together late July, we'll be requesting some dates and put some information out there real soon. But the ideas and what we could do more moving forward was just try to figure out a way to be maybe a more cohesive board and a better partner with our superintendent and our VA.
I know on board goal number 2, it was item 6, and it was cut short because of the closure of school, the effective community relations and outreach program as per our strategic plan. So I personally would like to see that stay on. And I know it was suggested by Dr. McCooley that we keep the same goals, because I really think that's important. I really think the community needs to be more involved. I think it was Augie was in charge of that committee. I'm not sure. So hopefully we can get something off the ground for next year, because I believe that that's very important, and it certainly meets the strategic plan that we've set forth. So
We never even had an opportunity to really sit down and meet because of it.
right. So
And normally, this is the time of year that we're doing our planning for the board's retreat. So, and what we discussed in Little Egg, and I would suggest the same here, is that we, at the July meeting, try to drill down on those dates for a retreat.
Is there anything we're looking at as far as when we can finally meet? Like Zoom is an excellent technology, but it can never replace one-on-one sitting down. So is there a possibility like when we're going to meet in July?
Thinking we're gonna have to do a real board, another Zoom board meeting in July, but we're hoping by the end of July or early August, we'll actually be able to meet in person, because that's one of the things I think that we haven't really been able to coalesce as a board, because we haven't really been able to meet. So I think that if we bring in Will, or if we bring in Mary Ann from school boards, and we talk about, some of this stuff and try to get your committee going and, talk about all of this and be able to see each other, I think it'll make it easier too.
Does anyone know what the governor has said as far as inside meetings or having groups together?
Well, right now there's a capacity limit for having meetings inside. I believe it's 25% capacity. We would maybe have a concern with a July meeting doing that, because you wouldn't know how many people from the public would attend, and we would hate to have to turn people away. So the July meeting might still have to be virtually. We would probably have less people who would want to attend a training session that we might be having. So that might be an easier thing to do late July, early August. But it's certainly something we can put out there as the governor relaxes some of his restrictions and issues further guidelines. It might make it a little bit easier to get together.
Melissa, didn't we also
I think
last year with the admin team? Wasn't that in August with the
Yeah,
board?
but like Betty Ann was saying, we're just gonna have to wait to see the status of the schools. Betty and I spoke about this earlier with you too. I think one of the good points that were brought up is part of the regulation, if we have these meetings in the school, is we have to have specific cleaning afterwards. So now we're putting additional strain on our custodial maintenance staff also. So we're gonna do it when it's safe for everyone.
it might be a good idea. I mean, late July, early August, I feel like we'll be here before we know it. I don't know if Betty and or Kim, you've had a chance yet to reach out to school boards if we're thinking that they're going to facilitate a session. It might be good just to get on the calendar, and that could help us maybe narrow down some dates.
They aren't responding. I mean, they're not able to meet yet. So that's basically the answer so far. So we have to really wait till it's lifted so we can, so they know when it's starting. But I did talk to Mary Ann about it in April, actually.
Mary Ann and I have been in communication in reference to the board self-evaluation. That's something we need to complete too. That would make it just have another useful tool for when we do get together. So as soon as we can all get that done, then Mary Ann and I and Kim and the entire board can decide when it is we're going to try to get together. But I think late July, early August is a feasible time frame for trying to pull that off. I will ask Mary Ann to maybe try to look at some dates and see. They're in the same situation right now. It's there are no actual in-person trainings going on. So if we can pencil in, I'll try to do that.
Yeah, okay, good.
Thank you, Karen. All right.
Just a reminder to everybody, real quick, Mrs. McVeigh, as we get ready
Sure.
for the public comment, that the phone number for public comment is available. You should see it on your screen. Mrs. McVeigh will open the floor for public comment shortly.
All righty. Thank you, Nick. So moving on to item number 10, residents forum, agenda items only. Board policy 0167 encourages community participation in every meeting. However, the board requests that the public respect a reasonable time limit when commenting on agenda items only. Can I have a motion to open it to residents forum?
We're not required to motion in and out.
I'm sorry.
It's quite all right.
Got motions on the mind.
Mr. Bond or Mr. Yates, do we have anybody on direct call-in number?
Negative. No.
And we've done for the past couple of months, Mrs. McVeigh, we'll just wait 20 or 30
Sure.
seconds and allow for the broadcast feed to bounce around the airwaves. Okay.
All right, then we'll close the floor for agenda residence forum, and we'll move on to item number 11, committee reports. Can I have a motion for items 11A, 1 through 5?
Motion.
Second?
Are there any questions? Okay, Mr. William, I'm sorry, Ms. Paklakua?
Yes. 1 through
Thank you.
5, yes.
Yep. Ms. Chambers?
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Rossetti?
Yes.
Ms. Harper?
Yes.
Mr. Dalio?
Yes.
Ms. Hannadel?
Yes.
Mrs. McVeigh?
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right, moving on to item number B, or letter B, personnel. A motion, please, for items 1 through 29.
Motion.
Second. That was Kim.
Thank you, Ms. Hannadel. Are there any questions? Just getting to number 29 in my book, hang tight. Okay. Ms. Paklakua?
I am yes, with the exception of item 4. I will abstain.
Okay, Ms. Chambers?
Yes on everything, except I'm going to abstain on number 1A and number 4B. Everything else would be a yes.
A and 4B, correct?
That's correct.
Mr. Rossetti?
Oh, just going through it all. Yes. Yes to everything.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Harper? Ms. Harper?
Yes, with an abstention on B5.
Thank you. Mr. Dalio?
That would be a yes on everything, Nick.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Hannadel?
Yes.
Mrs. McVeigh?
Yes, on everything.
Okay, all those motions carry.
All right, moving on to agenda item letter C, operations. May I ask for a motion, please, for items 1 through 4?
Motion?
Motion.
All right. Are there any questions? Ms. Paklakua?
Yes.
Ms. Chambers?
Yes.
Mr. Rossetti?
Yes.
Ms. Harper?
Yes.
Mr. Dalio?
Yes.
Ms. Hannadel?
Yes.
Mrs. McVeigh?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you, Nick. Moving on to letter D, items 1 through 19. A motion, please.
Motion.
Second.
Thank you. Any questions?
I would just like to thank the people that donated under item 6. Thank you very much. And Erin, thank you for the presentation that you did. I don't know if you received my email, but you did a really great job, and you presented the data very well. Thank you for that. And also, Nick, thank you for providing us the email on the information on items 18 and 19. That was very helpful as well. Very much appreciated. Thank you both.
No problem. All right, if there are no other questions, we'll move to the roll call vote. Ms. Paklakua,
Yes.
Ms. Chambers,
Yes.
Mr. Rossetti,
Yes.
Ms. Harper,
Yes, and I need to abstain on D3 and D12.
thank you. Mr. Dalio,
Yes.
Ms. Hannadel,
Yes, and I have to abstain on D6 myself.
gotcha. Mrs. McVeigh.
Yes.
Those motions carry.
All right, we'll move on to item 14, Residents Forum for general topics. Again, Board Policy 0167 encourages community participation in every meeting. However, the board requests that the public respect a reasonable time limit when commenting on any topic.
And a reminder to everybody that if you'd like to call in, the call-in number for public comment is on the bottom of your screen.
We have one caller.
Yeah.
So, Mrs. McVeigh, I believe we do have a caller for public comment. Phone number ending in 120. Can you please state your name?
Yes, Janine Dudas.
Thank you, Ms. Dudas. Go ahead, the floor is yours.
Hi, my name is Janine Dudas. I'm a little unfamiliar with what's going on. I mean, the format of your board meeting. I had a public comment section. Is that at the end of the meeting, or is now the time that I would address that?
The floor is yours to make your public comment, Ms. Dudas. Ms. Dudas, you're on the phone during public comment. You can begin your public comment at this time.
Okay, thank you. I'm sitting here with my husband, Charles Dudas, and we've previously been in contact with some of the administration in regard to the bog spillway behind the school, the Giffortown Bog. Last month, I was going over the minutes and the budget that was presented in May to go over the line items to see if there was any appropriation for the repair or the rehabilitation of the dam. I couldn't tell from the descriptions. Could you tell me, I don't know, Mr. Brown or someone else who might know, is there an amount included in there? Would it be in capital improvements? Would it be care and upkeep of the grounds? Were repairs included for the spillway in the budget?
I'll address that at the end of your public comment. I just want to make sure I address all your questions at once.
Okay, I think that's it for now. We kind of wanted to know, because it's been going on for, it's been going on quite some time. We were hoping that they have appropriated some money towards it, and if they haven't, why they haven't.
So the short answer to your question is the district allocates money to the upkeep of grounds and buildings. And so there's no money specifically allocated to the repair or any work on the dam. And in the previous budgets, from my looking back, and I said it's a limited history, there's not typically money in there for regular maintenance of the dam. However, as the issue was brought to our attention that the dam requires annual inspection as a Class 2 dam, this is something we discussed about addressing in the next budget cycle. And certainly as we investigate the costs to repair or decommission it, we would appropriate the right amount of funds to address one of those outcomes.
All right, and when I talked to Dr. McCooley earlier, she was going to keep us abreast of, any kind of actions happening in that regard. We do pay attention to the board meetings. I do get copies of the minutes, things like that. But specifically, sometimes it's a little unwieldy to go through all the information. So we would appreciate contact on that. In the next budget cycle, I do have a concern with that because the next budget cycle means, school year 21-22, which, as anybody can see, the bog right now, if you keep waiting, it's going to make the decision for you, really, is what's going to happen. And there might not be any going back on that. And, that is a big concern for us.
I'm going to jump in, Nick, because with public comment, we have to be careful not to go back and forth. But Mrs. Dudas is amazing. She's very sweet, and she has been in contact with me a lot. And as I said, she and there's 2 other couples that live in that area. Nick and I will be keeping them updated on the progress of the bog.
I do appreciate that, Dr. McCooley. Thank you. Like I said, we're all neighbors in this, and
Yes.
to find out things after the fact when you couldn't do anything about it, that's frustrating.
Thank you, Mrs. Dudas. Nick, is there anyone else for
Thank you, Dr. McCooley.
Janine.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Mr. Bond, anybody else joining the public comment portion of the meeting?
No additional callers.
Okay, the floor is yours, Miss McVeigh.
Alrighty, so we're going to move on to board forum. I'll start with Karen. Do you have anything for us tonight?
Yeah, just to congratulate our senior class, and they're graduating. I did see that Dr. McCooley will have some news for them with regard to a ceremony, but just want to say congratulations to our high school seniors. We'll miss you. Good luck in your future endeavors. And also, congratulations to any of our alumni that might be graduating from either a trade school or college, etc. And wish them best of luck. And then thank you to our admin, our teachers, and our staff during this ongoing extended period for supporting our students and making sure that they have and are doing the best that we can given the circumstances to continue their educational learning experience. So thank you for all the extra effort for that. And just hope everyone enjoys summer and has a nice break, and that we get back to some sense of normalcy in the fall.
Thank you, Karen. Pat, do you have anything for us?
I'd just like to echo exactly what Karen said, because they were the actual notes I wrote down. I also want to congratulate all the senior recipients from Scholarship Night. It was very well done. It was a very nice presentation. It's very nice to see their pictures up on the cat eye. So congratulations to them as well. Everybody, I hope everybody has a healthy and safe summer. And we are looking forward, hopefully, to get back live at board meetings. And hopefully we'll have more information about the school opening. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Pat. Rachel, you have anything for us?
I do. I just, as a mother of a graduating senior, I wanted to thank the administrators. I know how hard they work to try and make this as special and normal, if that's even a thing anymore, as possible for them. And I know my son was resilient along with so many of our other seniors through it all. And I appreciate that. But also as a mother to a middle school student, a high school student, and elementary school students, I want to thank the parents for getting us through this, because I know that they really had to step up and work hard, and it wasn't easy, but we're almost there.
Thank you, Rachel. Tom, you got anything for us?
Yeah, I just wanted to piggyback on what Rachel said. It's something that I've even told my students. A lot of props to the parents out there, because this was very hard to deal with. And, thank you for, helping out the school. Congratulations to the seniors and to, everybody moving up. Hopefully next year we'll return to normalcy. And thank you, Dr. McCooley, for the new video for the questions, the Q&A. A lot easier, so much simpler. Thank you very much for that.
All right, we'll stick with it.
Okay, and August, you got anything for us? Is Augie still with us?
There we go. Everything.
There we
The
go.
screen's totally locked up. This is part of the reason why I can't stand this. I want to be back, back to normal. But no, I just want to just repeat what was already said by some of the board members, is that I really want to give a shout out to Mr. Henderson and Dr. McCooley and anyone else that's involved on what they've done and accomplished, because it just kept on changing. But whatever our governor puts down, you have to just roll with it. And those are constant changes. So I really do.
Lost me again.
All right, Augie, I'm gonna step in, and if you get back on, I will allow you to finish your comments.
With all the stuff that's been going on. So it hasn't been easy for the parents and definitely not for the students. So I thank you again for all you've done. That's all I have to say.
Thank you, Augie. Kim?
Any comments, everybody? No, just thank you, and congratulations to the seniors and to anyone graduating. I was glad you said that, Karen. That was I was thinking that as well. So, you know, looking forward to hopefully being back in school in September. Dare I say it? Thanks, everybody.
All right, Kim. Yeah, I'm hoping. What's that song? See you in September. I'm hoping that comes true for all of us. I'd like to thank Dr. McCauley and Nick for everything they do here. It takes an exceptional person with a unique skill set to be an effective superintendent. And I would venture to say that she would say she's only as effective as the team she has behind her. And what an amazing team she does have. So thank you to all of you. I know this is nothing that we were prepared to do just 3 months ago. And now you're like that guy that has all the plates in the air spinning, trying to figure out how to keep everything going. So kudos to all of you, and to people working behind the scene here, helping to put this meeting on. It always first starts off like a Saturday Night Live episode, but we figure out a way to bring it together. And thank you to my fellow board members. This was a very productive meeting. I appreciate everyone getting their questions in ahead of time, and your professional manner of which we conducted ourselves tonight. I think it is a step in the right direction. Congratulations to all our graduating seniors and to all your future endeavors. Best of luck. And with that, I'll ask for a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Second.
All members in favor of adjourning the meeting at 6:49 p.m., say aye.
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 Yes.
Opposed?
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you very much, guys. Have a wonderful
Thanks,
evening. As a
guys.
reminder, the next regularly scheduled meeting of the Board of Education is at 5:30 on July 22nd. We'll see everybody then.
Guys, take
Good
care.
night.
Bye.
Night.
Night, everyone.